Welcome back to Tales of Symphonia. Strap yourself in for this hour-long finale here.
I sprained my ankle up in between part. No, I sprained my arm in between parts. That was fun.
Ugh.
Now I have to work with it.
Hopefully by tomorrow it'll be fine.
No. Usually it takes a couple weeks for a sprain to go away.
I mean, you can always go to a doctor to check and make sure if it's sprained.
Nah, it's sprained. It's sprained.
Fair enough. Anyway,
final match with this asshole.
I said, like I said at the end of the last part, I am going to show off the final sword dancer before the end of the game.
100,000 HP.
He is the third hardest boss in the game. He is the third hardest optional boss in the game.
Not by much.
Unfortunately, I have not recorded the final two optional boss fights, and those are going to be bonus videos because we have been doing this LP for almost 2.5 years now, and I want to get it done.
Keep that shit, and keep me in that shit. I want to see how you fuck up. I want to see how you fuck up a Bishian.
Gee, it's almost like this is the hardest sword dancer in the game. There's not much I can do about that.
No, you act like I'd be any better.
My best strategy that I can give for this boss is do what I'm doing. Just have Lloyd be the main attacker and just hope to God he doesn't target anyone else behind you.
No, the best idea would be to equip Lloyd with a light specific weapon buff, because that does double damage to him.
It does. I do have items that do that, but those only last for like 10 seconds. Also,
have fun with that.
Yeah, I was about to say, guys, do you want to move?
I don't feel like it.
Yeah, this is what makes this one difficult. He has all the high-level spells, including Indignation. Yeah. So,
when that happens, I usually go and take manual control of that character and move them out of range until the attack stops.
I would, but then I don't know what Lloyd's gonna do if I stop controlling him for 2 seconds.
Man, I just don't give a shit.
I do remember in your playthrough of this, every time the Sword Dancer did some big attack, you just inserted a random AVGN quote.
Ass!
Ass! You put that in every time he used Indignation.
Because it fucking sucked!
Fuck!
This is fucking horse shit!
This is unbelievable. I remember that. It was, like, I did not expect you to do that at all, and I didn't. Like, okay, and then here's me. Yeah, see.
Away.
Get the hell out of the way. Genus, move.
Ooh, shiny.
I'll blame Genus for literally running into it. Colette, I didn't notice she was close enough to it in the first place.
Ooh, shiny nickel.
Genus literally ran into it like a moron.
He ran that quarter. He really wanted that quarter.
Again,
he really wanted that.
This is the game that made me hate AI controls for Tales games, because they are freaking idiots. No matter what you set them to, they always do something stupid.
He really wanted that quarter.
Basically, what you want to do is make sure that Rain is in your party and that she stays alive as long as possible, because
don't ever let her get.
Life bottles, because people are gonna die every 10 seconds.
I was trying to say, don't make her waste time using resurrection.
I only did it because at that time she had plenty of time to do it.
This is why I manually turn off spells I don't need. Something you don't do.
To be fair, it doesn't really matter what spell Genus uses on this thing, because his magic defense is so high that it's not going to do much anyway.
And
he keeps casting.
In my case, I actually had Nurse on Hotkey, and I had Rain cast nothing but that for the entire thing. That's the only reason I stayed alive in this.
Well, that works
Yeah.
But if she gets targeted by indignation, there's not much you can do about that.
I don't think he ever targeted her with indignation.
I don't know why he targeted her for me then.
She should not be using first aid at all. Let's get that out of the way.
The way I'm doing this is that as long as Lloyd stays alive and keeps hitting him, that's all that matters. Prism Stars is going to be my main damage dealer, unless Colette wants to be nice and cast Holy Judgment.
There.
You want to cast that for me, sweetie? That would make this battle take half
Nope.
the time.
Answers your question.
Please.
Answers your question. Well,
I've seen you use it on him. It does like 3,000 damage. That's over half his HP in one hit.
Well, it's hard to do it when she's dead.
I know. It's also hard to do it when it's completely random as to whether it's going to work or not. And everybody's going to die in about 2 seconds here.
This is why I would take manual control of This is why I would take manual control of the healer and just move him out of range. But you're not me, so.
Again, I mentioned this before. The reason why is I don't like the idea of dropping control of Lloyd, even if it's only for like 2 seconds, because I don't know what his AI is going to fucking do.
Whenever I would do it, the AI for Lloyd was actually pretty generous.
Because I have bad luck of whenever Lloyd goes into AI mode, he just spams the shit out of all of his spells and then starts out of all of his arts and then starts using up all my orange gels like a freaking dick.
Why do you have him set to using items?
I don't. He just does it. It's set to that by default because I am always controlling Lloyd, so I never bother to check what his AI control is.
It's almost like you should set strategies.
It's almost like I'm 99.9% of the time using Lloyd, so I don't consider what the controls are for when he's controlled by the AI. I completely understand. I completely admit that it's entirely a me problem.
It is entirely a you problem.
I just don't care, because as long as I win, that's what matters to me.
As long as there's victory, Lloyd says with missing teeth. Frame rate dropping.
Yeah, Cyclone does that a lot.
And it's funny when that happens. More frame rate drops.
Yeah, anytime there's another spell going off at the same time as a level 3 spell or higher, the frame rate dips like crazy.
Or it's like the PS2 version where everything dips frame rate.
Now, considering I intended for this to be the final part anyway, I really did try to show off Lloyd's Mystic Art because this is the best chance you're going to get for it to actually go off. Thank you, Colette.
No, you never want to do that. That thing's unreliable as shit.
As it kills him.
That's not what I was talking about. I was talking about Lloyd's Mystic Art. It sucks.
No, I'm not denying that. I'm just saying this is the best chance you have to show it off because more often than not, Lloyd's gonna get into overlimit.
I bet. My skeletal frame has been stabbed. Bleh.
So by defeating the third Sword Dancer, you get Lloyd's ultimate weapon, which is, I think it's still the best weapon in the game. His weapon that he gets from the Colosseum might be a little bit stronger, but I can't remember.
Kusanagi Blade. Does that mean it can spew fire?
The most Japanese-sounding katanas of all time.
I'm still waiting for an answer.
I'm sorry, what was your question
I
again?
said it's a Kusanagi Blade. Can it spew fire? Fuck. Fuck. How are we gonna kill Orochi? How are we gonna kill Orochi without the 3 sacred treasures?
Even if it was, we only have one of the 3.
Fuck, you're right. We're screwed. The best we can do is just
Nobody in the Symphonia universe would stand a chance against anyone in King of Fighters anyway.
The best we can do is just beat him up and hope he doesn't come back. Damn it.
Oh, so it's Sin. Shit.
Yeah, he just comes back.
Giant space whale that just decides to show up whenever he feels like it.
It said, I think the endings for that game go that if you kill Orochi with literally anybody but Kyo, Iori, and the other girl, I forget her name. If you kill Orochi,
Athena?
no, not Athena. Not Athena. She's not important to plot.
Oh, right. Oh.
Athena's the pop star.
Oh, that's right. Athena's not in that game.
Athena's the pop star. A pop star is not going to kill an ancient evil. Not yet.
Yeah, but Athena shows up in like a whole bunch of SNK things, so...
Just because she's used in SNK games doesn't mean she's relevant.
She's like the second most popular female character next to Mai.
Still not relevant.
And the only reason Mai is popular is because of the two things in front of your face all the time.
All right, the fans.
So anyway, there is still technically more stuff I can do. Unfortunately, I did not finish finding all the dogs, but all that does is get you a title for Colette.
It was Kyo, Iori, and Shizuru. They are the three characters that have to kill Orochi for him to go back to be sealed back up, or else he'll just keep coming back every few hundred years.
We don't have to fight.
Yeah, it's exactly like I said.
Please return the
Fuck
Great
him.
Sea to us so we can reunite the worlds.
Yeah, see, we have to kill Yggdrasil with the Eternal Sword, or also just keep coming back like the little bitch he is.
No, that's his. No, that would be his X-Sphere.
Fuck.
We already beat him up once before. That's why he ran away. Also, final Deus Ex Machina. Apparently, part of his soul was trapped inside Colette the whole time.
Oh, thanks. I've been needing that. Good lord, how many comics do you have in your brain?
How long was I out? 6 hours. God damn it!
You literally have a TV on that does nothing but Scooby-Doo reruns. No wonder you like dogs.
This was all about.
Good lord, you even have the crappy movies, Scooby-Doo movies in there. Get rid of those.
And not the animated ones either.
Just as I lived on in
God,
the
no.
Crucius Crystal.
She really is
That's
cursed.
not living. That's just existing as a lifeless being. What's wrong with that?
What's wrong with...
What's wrong with being as... Yeah, what's wrong with that? Being a zombie with no soul? That's a lot. There's a lot wrong with that.
I don't know, it works for Nemesis, okay?
Those that despise us.
Nemesis is a literal zombie with no soul.
Like I said, it works just fine for him.
Outside such filth.
He's Spider-Man in the remake.
That's what you really want?
What part of that do I have to spell out to you?
When you become a lifeless being,
You don't have to. I just have nothing to say to that.
It just reminds me of one of the animations I did for this. If I'm as evil as you say I am, then let God strike me down where I stand.
I told you before.
Ha!
The only way to eliminate discrimination. is
Nice
for
try,
everyone-
jackass.
Yeah,
Next time, give it your A game.
Also, Mythos' lips aren't moving
What
at
you
all.
hope for is nothing but a dream.
Yeah.
I think they just forgot to animate that.
The animation budget in this game kind of dips sometimes.
I think they just forgot to animate him. it's like we haven't ran out of
They do
time.
that sometimes. It's not even just with Mythos. There's times where they're zoomed in on Lloyd and his mouth isn't moving either.
Quick, we're out of time. Quick, we're out of time. We need to sum this up real quick.
Humans and elves, treating them like cattle.
We spent all our budget on that background.
That's the weakness of you.
For God's sake, we spent $50 on it.
Even if people become lifeless beings,
That gif of the spinning stone cost a lot of money.
That's not a GIF. That's an actual 3D model.
Then where should the half-elves go?
Anyway, I also, to save time,
aren't
I did
accepted
not
anywhere.
record the other slight recording
We
of
opened our
if
hearts,
you have Kratos
but
in
no
your
one took
party.
a
It
sip.
really doesn't
Where
change
should
much.
we
It doesn't.
Fair though.
You get flavor text. There you go.
Anywhere you like.
The only thing that the thing that changes is
make me
instead of Zelos
I'm
saying
serious.
no, you're being
Anywhere is
selfish.
fine.
It's
If you weren't doing
It's
anything
like,
wrong, you
don't
should just
put
live
all the
out
blame on
in
everyone
the
else
open.
because you made the mistake too. It's Kratos will go like, yeah, but
It's because we couldn't do
that's
that.
not an excuse for you to be a dick. That's just a motivation to like. I
We
get it.
wanted a place
Your life
of our
sucks,
own.
and I felt the same. But killing people
sorry, but
as
don't
motivation
act
for
like you're
that's
the
not going
only
to change
dick.
that.
Besides, Zella's flavor text is much better.
It doesn't even come close to justifying all the things that you've done.
He said no. It's like,
So-
Can't let. You didn't say the magic word.
God, I love that line. It's like my favorite line in Jurassic Park.
Fuck you, Newman.
It's the fact that he has it. It's the fact that it's a freaking virus, and it's just him sitting on your screen telling you over and over again.
But one can try to atone for one's sins.
It also helps that the person yelling at it was Samuel Jackson too.
The goddess known as conscience.
Who gives a
Hold on
hand?
to your
Who
butts.
gives a hand? Who later on gives a hand?
Forgiveness? Ridiculous.
Slow clap.
There is no
I haven't watched
goddess.
Jurassic Park 1 in forever. I should watch it again.
I remember a lot about Jurassic Park 1.
Jurassic Park 1 is the one I remember the most.
It's the one everybody remembers
And
the
if
most.
I've been denied my age of lifeless
Because it was the
beings,
best one. Did I say that out loud?
only
I don't think
thing
you'll
left
find
for me
anybody
is to
disagreeing with
build
you.
a new world on
I don't know. A lot of people like Lost World.
A world
I don't know
just
why.
for my sister and me.
It wasn't that bad. It wasn't Jurassic Park 3, I'll say
He
that
ate
much.
he ate the T-Rex ate a doggo.
So anyway, final boss, Mythos.
Yeah, big surprise. He sucks.
As I mentioned the last time, it's a lot like fighting basically a combination of Colette and Rain.
If you beat
Because
this,
he has all of Rain's light spells.
if you beat the sword,
basically.
if you beat the third sword dancer, this guy's a chump.
Yeah.
Just fucking chump.
He's still... I will say this, though, like, it is a two-phase fight, and this is the hardest of the two phases, honestly.
Spoiler.
Well, gee. A final boss in a JRPG that has more than one form? Shock. Shock. Also, I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, that's gonna make this fight last a whole 3 minutes more.
Yeah, he's completely immune to light spells. You can make this go by a little bit faster if you use Dark Quartz, because it gives your physical attacks darkness elements, so you do twice as much damage. Not really worth it, though.
In my run, Rain is the only character that died in this fight.
I was careless.
Normally, I don't have that much trouble with Mythos' first form, but he decided to be a dick in this fight for some reason.
Here, I'm gonna start casting in the middle of indignation. Shit.
No, the problem with Mythos is that he likes to teleport all over the place, a lot like that. And he can and there can be points where he does that like 2 or 3 times in a row, making this fight take a lot longer than it's supposed to. And then there's Retribution. Retribution fucking sucks.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I noticed something when he was doing that. Mythos literally just warped in place. He didn't move at all. It's like I'm gonna move. I'm gonna teleport slightly to the left. like I'm serious. You play that back. You look at it. He didn't move at all. He did his teleportation animation. He didn't move at all. It's
like in Dragon Ball Z, where Cell floats in the air for 2 seconds just to be 6 feet closer to Goku. It's like, was that really necessary?
No. It's like throwing the smoke bomb and then not moving.
Anyway, before that happened, Retribution is the most annoying spell in this entire game. It'll cast random status ailments on your entire party. And it's also the one and only time in this game where Berserk becomes a status, and Berserk sucks. Berserk makes it so that you can't use any healing on that particular character, and it's ridiculous.
Lloyd, I'm dying. Nah, it's okay. It's okay, fam. I'm dead.
But see, like right there, like. Also, after you do like half his health, they start having like a mini conversation, which is really hard to hear half the time, whether we're talking over it or not, because usually the game's sound effects drowns it out anyway.
Yeah, that's the one downside to these older games.
The later games would fix that by either having text on the bottom screen, or it'll be like Xillia, where you actually see the characters' portraits cut in when they're talking.
And that's one plus the PS2 version has over the original GameCube. It does add subtitles to those scenes.
It's also annoying because the context of that conversation only works if you have this particular party.
Oh, then I wouldn't have been able to hear it anyway.
Yeah, because the only people that talk in that conversation are Mythos, Lloyd, Colette, Genus, and Rain.
Well, shit.
Actually, it might only just be Mythos, Lloyd, Colette, and Genus. I don't even think Rain says anything.
I didn't have Colette in the party, so I wouldn't have been able to hear it anyway.
Yeah. I only went with this party because they're it's the main 4, so why not?
This battle's made a lot easier if you have 2 melee characters.
It is. It also would be easier if Rain and Genus actually had darkness spells, but I've mentioned that multiple times in this playthrough already. So
I said this multiple times. Just give Lloyd a darkness spell. Also, you can't. Also, the one thing I should mention: you can't use unison attacks if one character's dead.
None of you understand how I feel.
that's true too. I mean, you can also get super lucky if you bring Sheena in here and she casts Shadow, and she summons Shadow, but chances of that happening are slim to none.
Actually,
in the fact that once she goes over limit, you have like half a second to open the menu and force her to pick somebody.
You have plenty of time. Also, I should mention you can also use the item that changes your weapon element to darkness. 'Cause I know those.
Yes, you can use Dark Quartz, but it's really not that. It's really not worth it.
I thought it was worth it.
I mean, it's good.
Oh look, Tidal Wave, the one move that won't be relevant for another generation.
It is. To be fair, Tidal Wave in this game anyway is probably the strongest spell in the game.
And now he's poisoned. Great.
Due to technicalities. I mean, to be the actual strongest and most broken spell in the most broken art in the game is actually Pow Hammer. If you spam it enough, because Colette can randomly throw a green hammer that inflicts super poison, which does like 1/16 of your health every second.
She actually did throw a green hammer earlier.
Yeah, but it didn't hit.
It did.
Unfortunately.
It did.
No, otherwise he would have been poisoned.
It hit him.
Oh, maybe it doesn't always work.
It doesn't work all the time.
But that
it does do a lot. It did do a lot more damage than usual.
The poison hammer is the most broken attack in this game because even with the super boss, if you hit him with that and cast super poison on him, you just won because all you got to do is survive long enough for the poison to kill him.
The KOF arcade run logic. just do enough damage and stay in the corner until time runs out. Lloyd, I'm dying. Please cure me. Please cure my poison. Never mind.
It really has been a while since I played this fight because I don't remember this boss fight taking this long, honestly.
Please cure my poison.
I think I just got super unlucky that he kept teleporting away from me and half of my attacks were missing. Because usually this phase is done by now. Damn it, Genus.
Genus died of dysentery.
No, he got hit by something. He just got hit off screen.
He got hit by the gun truck that Mythos threw.
Oh man. Oh well, I would say that's not relevant, but then I remembered. Oh wait, the Dreamcast version of Sonic Adventure 2 would have been out by now.
Yes, it would.
Sonic Adventure 2 Battle is probably getting ported like a year after this game, actually.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Because I think Sonic Adventure 2 Battle on GameCube was 2003. I could be wrong.
Time to rock the wiki. While Mythos falls to the ground like an idiot.
Or I can just look at the box. I have it.
Oh, you have
I have it myself somewhere.
By the way, here's phase 2, Dr. Wily style.
Yeah. So this was hinted at by fighting those 3 optional bosses. If you didn't fight any of these optional bosses, then Mythos has complete immunity to all elements, and I think he has twice as much HP.
Challenge run.
I think. Oh, no, I think he just has immunity to all status ailments except... But if you get rid of all of it, then he's only immune to light and darkness.
No, actually, light still hurts him.
Well, it's I think it goes from immunity to resist light and dark or something weird like that.
He doesn't resist anything. He when he gets to this form, if you do fight all the mini bosses, he is not immune to anything. You actually get fighting the bosses actually gets rid of that immunity.
Okay, I knew it was something like that. Regardless, it doesn't really matter because, as I mentioned before, the first phase is much harder than this one.
This one's a cakewalk.
This and the only the reason for that being is he's a huge target now. He also lost his ability to teleport, so yeah.
I really want to see this, and I really want to see this boss in Raze.
I don't think Raze is going to get this version of Mythos.
It'll probably get as a Mystic Card, honestly. It'll look amazing.
He'll just temporarily jump into his space pod and shoot something.
Yes. They've done stupid stuff. Raze has done dumber stuff before.
Fair enough. He does he's only using Explosion right now, but I think he can use every elemental spell in the game in this fight. He just very rarely uses very many of them.
Man, you had somebody die. You should feel ashamed of yourself. And that completely missed.
I'll blame Rain for taking too long to heal.
Yes. Yes. Blame the healer for doing her job.
She's not doing it fast enough.
And whose fault is that?
Yes. Now she's fine.
You should be using Nurse.
Healing Circle's just as good, and he's dead.
My circuit board. Yeah, you don't get EXP or money from this, for obvious reasons.
But the first fight took 4.5 minutes. This fight took 2.
Also, where the fuck were we? Also,
Huh?
where the fuck were we?
I don't know. Apparently, his throne room just transformed into this weird platform thing. It's almost like this is a JRPG, so they had to throw in a super final boss at the last second. Otherwise, it would have been boring as shit.
Here's my dick. I'm sorry, that's what it looks like.
Taken over by the crystal.
It's clearly floating in front of his stomach.
No, it's not.
Shut up.
Playing your game of good and evil.
I'm tired of playing a game of good and evil, even though I'm clearly the evil one.
If you don't, Terrace Carline will continue to drift away.
He's supposed to be the morally gray villain, okay?
Do it now.
I mean, they sort of got it right.
2.
Ah!
I'm no longer myself.
Do it now before I am no longer myself. My gigantic racist ass self.
Help him. Let him die while he's
You do realize he's only racist because the entire planet was racist to him his entire life, right?
That's no excuse to be racist.
Farewell, my shadow.
It's not an excuse, but at least it explains why.
Yeah, I never said it then. I'm just saying, no excuse to be racist.
I wanted my own world.
I like to imagine,
I know.
Lloyd, save him so we can be racist together. Red Genus, sorry.
I will continue to choose this path.
I'm pretty sure even if you don't break the Curses Crystal, he can't come back anyway. His body is completely destroyed.
Give it a good boop on the head. And now you get the Sonic invincibility.
God damn it.
Hey, that's what it is.
You could have
Damn it! I knew I missed a joke.
lived with us in our world.
I should have played the Sonic invincibility theme when that happened.
Damn it.
God damn it. And speaking of dam, that's the last dam in the entire game. If you want to know how many there are, watch Luigi's playthrough because he has the maximum tally at this point.
No, there's probably scenes I missed.
Oh look, it's the swords I wasn't even using the entire fight.
This is your punishment for not using us. We'll form into a sword.
By the way, did you ever do Lloyd's Mystic Art? Because this is what it would look like. Fuck you.
This is your punishment. We'll turn into a sword you can't use.
The old master of the pact is no more. What does the
Lloyd,
new master of the pact ask of this sword?
Lloyd, don't touch that. It belongs to Nightmare. Oh shit, you're right.
Actually, I'm going to go ahead and say this right now. Tales of the Race actually has a mystic art of Lloyd actually using the Eternal Sword, so oops.
No, but seriously, the Eternal Sword looks disturbingly close to a sword that Nightmare would use in Soul Calibur.
It does. Although one negative I'll give this game: no time travel. This should have been time travel.
This was before time travel was a thing.
No, Fantasia had plenty of time travel. What are you talking about?
This is a distant prequel. Time travel wasn't a thing until like 1,000 years later.
Bullshit. Bullshit. The Eternal Sword was the entire point of using time travel. That was its entire point.
But then that would make this... You know what happens in media when time travel is introduced? It makes the story completely nonsensical.
Looks at Fantasia, which used it right away.
Yeah, and see how bullshit Dallas was when you can just jump to a different time period before you die?
Yeah, that's what made him great. That's what made him great. He could just do fuck all. There's nothing anybody could do about it.
That's why we got the Eternal Sword, and we locked him in one time, and then we could kill his ass.
Like, fuck.
Yay, we fuse the worlds together. Now the world's gonna die in like 40 seconds because there's no mana tree.
You fucked up. I would laugh at...
Probably should have grown the mana tree before we united the worlds first.
Well, we did.
Clearly not. The mana tree hasn't grown yet.
You all fucked up.
Your wish is granted.
By the way, we grant your wish, but now everything's gonna fuck up. I told you. I warned you. Warned you all.
Link. Without a link,
I told you after you beat me that just uniting the worlds wasn't gonna be enough. There's no mana link.
The world was originally
I need something to tether to, and not in a sexual way.
To prevent its destruction.
Looking at you, Asuka. No, that's not me. Like, that's my distant ancestor, goddammit.
Look at it. It looks at Asuka, the bird.
I don't need to know why it's dying.
Asuka's not even a summon spirit, technically.
Apparently, Asuka was meant to be a summon spirit, but got cut out from the game.
I think she was a summon spirit in Fantasia.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Asuka was originally in the... when you data mine this game, there's actually code for Sheena to summon Asuka, but nothing happens if you actually use it in the game.
Well, that makes sense considering you fight Luna and Asuka at the same time.
I just find that interesting, that Asuka was originally meant to be a summon spirit.
Darius Karlan is already at the
That
edge
makes
of the
sense.
gravitational field.
I'm counting on you, Eternal Sword. Points at Sky. Fuck.
Do you still intend to try?
Yeah.
Don't worry, Origin. I'm the main character. I can't die. It's the end of the game. They're not going to kill me off at the very end. No video game does that.
Shifty eyes.
I said I'm doing
Shifty
it,
eyes.
so I'm doing it. It's not like we have a choice.
I can make a list of a bunch of games that do that. I'm not going to do that, though. That takes effort.
Get the fuck back here. Rents due.
Like, wait, before the planet moves away, we gotta borrow some mana to grow a tree, please.
Get the fuck back here. Rent is due. You didn't pay your mortgage.
The man is being rejected.
And we lost the Eternal Sword because it just got pulled into Darius Karlan. Well, fuck.
You bet. Mortgage is due, motherfucker.
Wait, don't go.
Now for the biggest Deus Ex Machina moment of this entire game.
Yeah, it really is. Ah, yeah, give some of that Red Bull drink.
I mean, apparently Lloyd could have technically done this the entire time, because apparently having an X-Sphere allows you to do that.
Or it's just because Kratos was an angel.
Maybe.
So it's like,
that too.
It's like, oh, well, that works too.
It does. I didn't think about that.
We badly rendered flying.
It's a good thing it's not completely out of the atmosphere yet.
And Colette's like, hey, I'm here too.
Why? eternal sword
Hey,
is
look,
gone.
my wings are bigger than yours now. Shut up, Lloyd. Not the time.
Does that mean I can be in Mortal Kombat since Spawn made it?
Spawn doesn't have wings, Lloyd.
His cape's as big as as my wings.
Eternal sword.
Please awaken the great seed.
Well,
And then just imagine everyone else going like, motherfucker got wings. Why can't I do that?
we'll awaken the great seed by thwacking it with a sword. Does that make sense?
Well, apparently the Eternal Sword is like some kind of baton where you can just tell Darius Carline, put all your mana into that thing.
Wow, the Eternal Sword sucks.
Like, hey, put all your mana in that thing. Also, apparently Tabitha was Martel the entire time.
You don't say. Who could have seen that coming? Look at me being so surprised.
It's not like they hinted at that a couple of dozen times in this game already.
I didn't even need a hint. Hi, Martel. See you in Tales of the Rays.
Okay, so technically Tabitha is not Martel. It was a new body for Martel that her spirit was supposed to go into, similar to what happened when Mythos' soul goes into somebody. They just intentionally designed Tabitha to look as close to Martel as possible so that it would make more sense.
Like I said, see you in Tales of the Rays, Martel. 'Cause you're the next one. Your bitch ass is next up to be in the summon list.
Good luck with that 0.5% chance of getting her.
Yeah, probably. It's probably not gonna happen either, but whatever.
I don't know. You've been super lucky with that game and getting all the ultra rares.
I kind of want you in because having a double going Darth Maul on people is gonna be awesome. That's basically what he is. It's just discount Darth Maul, and that's what makes it cool.
I can understand why.
Holy shit! Holy shit! Those teenagers actually did it. They did something for a change. Holy shit! Congrats! And on that day you grew a green. And on that day you grew a green thumb. Good job.
Your hope, as well as those of many
Okay,
others,
so
is erected.
I tried to put the subtitles in on this part.
So your Mythos
That
sister.
is a lot harder to do than I thought it was.
Yeah, it's a lot harder, but you should know because I had to put it in myself.
I know the words, I just couldn't get the subtitles to sync up with the video.
I am the symbol of the many lives sacrificed.
Glad it's completely
to the great
motionless.
seed.
So
I am a
basically,
new spirit born to accompany the giant tree.
Martel, this isn't technically Martel, it's just the soul of the giant tree, which happens to look like Martel the most because her soul was the most recent one to go in there, I guess.
You will love Tales of Fantasia.
Tales of what now? Oh, right. Oh, right.
You'll
America's not going to get that game until...
You'll be long dead before this happens, so don't worry about it.
Tales of what now? Oh, right. Fantasia's not coming to America for another 5 years.
Bullshit.
On Game Boy Advance with a poorer translation.
What the heck is that?
It is only a small seedling in its
The Great
grasp.
War of Kangaroo. I mean, Ragnarok.
Fuck yeah, kangaroo. Oh boy, we're gonna have Roger in this
Let's
game.
provide the
Sweet.
tree with love and adoration. As long as those
The one
conditions
character
are
they had to
met,
take out
I
because
shall
Peter
always protect the
bitched
seed.
about
I
it.
promise. If the tree ever starts to wither,
And then they just put it back in anyway because fuck PETA.
No, he's actually permanently deleted from Tekken 7.
I want you to give this tree
Anyway.
as a proof of the pact.
Also, fuck everyone else apparently because nobody else is here. The only two that know about the tree are Lloyd and Colette.
This newly reborn tree
Everyone else is
protects
down
elves,
on the other.
humans, and the
Everyone else is
lives
down
of
on
all
Earth.
those
No one's
who
on
call
Darius
upon
Carline
it.
right now.
The fuck is happening?
Therefore,
We don't
this
know.
tree
Should we just
requires a new
go
name.
home? Yeah, shit.
I can only assume they're still on Darius Carline because that's where they flew to.
It's like just shit. Everybody on the ground's like, shit. So, Denny's.
this
Denny's.
tree is the link that connects the world.
Oh no, they're on Earth.
I
Darius
just like
Carline already flew
to, I like to
away.
imagine going like,
Okay, I
so
got it.
Denny's. Yep, Denny's.
This tree's name is
Gonzalez.
You just really like referencing that comic, don't you?
The Great Gonzalez lives again.
God damn it. Oh, it took like 2.5 years, but we finally finished it.
Christ, this credits are boring.
Final thoughts.
Hi, Fjorm. Hi, Jennifer Hale. Hi,
Tara Strong.
80s Leonardo.
Hi, Cam Clark. Hi, James Arnold Taylor. So yeah, apparently Titus also. So apparently the same voice actor that does Titus also does both Gnome and Yggdrasil in this game.
That explains so much.
He mainly uses his Titus voice when he's Gnome.
Yeah.
But
has a very southern drawl to it that Titus does not have.
So, final thoughts on this game. I've beaten this game like 15 times and I never get tired of it. It's a really solid game. It has definitely aged. But like, because if you compare this game to any game that comes out after Abyss, oh man, does this game show its age.
The
story still holds up.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were done.
No, I'll just do like a half. I'll just like really quickly, like, I'll say the story still holds up. Mostly because the subject matter is something that unfortunately is probably never going to go away in anyone's lifetime. Racism is a horrible thing, people. You know, you should probably cut that shit out. But in terms of the gameplay, I still enjoy it, but I can't deny that I would probably rather play something like Abyss before this, only because the games have evolved a lot since this one.
Please play Tales of Vesperia.
Yes, get Tales of Vesperia in some way. Get it on PS3, get it on 360, get it on Switch. It's really good. Anyway, you were gonna say?
I was gonna give my thoughts, but if you're not done.
Okay, so the game itself, the story is great. It's generic as all hell, and it's been done to death, but it works. The concept works. I mean, racism, unfortunately, is a problem in society that's probably not going to ever go away. And this game is something that I think everyone needs to play just for that alone, to show that it is possible that just because you disagree with people on things, it doesn't mean you have to be a dick about it. You can disagree with people all you like, but in the end, everyone is a person, and you should treat them the same way. That's the whole backstory of this game. The whole reason that Mythos became a monster in this game is because people didn't treat him like any other normal person. If they had, then this game never would have happened. But yeah, I think this game, while it as I mentioned before, while it has aged, I would say play it. Try to play the GameCube version if you can, because honestly, I don't think the PS2 version that's on the collections is as good. And as far as I know, still stay away from the Steam version, because I think that one's still a pile of shit.
No, that one's been fixed for a while now.
Okay, good. So anyway, I think that's enough for me for now.
Yeah. My final thoughts. You like Final Fantasy X? Play this game.
I still don't quite see it. People say that to me a lot. I've heard that a lot, that people compare this game a lot to Final Fantasy X. And I'm sorry, I don't see it. I don't. If it's based on story, the stories are completely different. This story's concept is on racism and learning to accept people that are different. Final Fantasy X's plot is there's a giant evil space whale that's destroying the future. How does that correspond to this?
I think it's like similar concept is what they're getting at.
But it's not, though. You're in the future that's being destroyed by a space alien.
Yeah. Yeah, you were in the present being having the world destroyed by a space alien, technically.
I guess, but I don't see Sin and Mythos as being the same thing.
Still counts.
I guess, like, people compare Yuna to Colette because Yuna apologizes a lot. But Colette's also a 16-year-old girl compared to Yuna. I guess the biggest comparison to this in 10 is that both this and Final Fantasy X, the main villain is like a church. But that can be said about, like, every Final Fantasy game ever.
Religion bad.
Like, over-reliance on religion is bad, apparently. But anyway, we got really sidetracked there.
Yeah, you kind of talked over my final thoughts.
Go on.
I wasn't even done.
Go on, we still got plenty of time.
Not really.
We do. This ending goes on for like another 5 minutes. Go.
Alright. My jokes aside, this game is one of those games that actually taught me how to be an actual normal person, in a sense.
Grandmother.
Oh, god damn it, there's more!
Go! Keep going!
Okay, fine, Jesus.
I'm not a chosen.
Oh,
I'm not chosen anymore, even though I have wings. Anyway.
Welcome home.
This game hit me. This game came out during this time where the GameCube really needed games. So it helps that I got pretty hooked on this. But when I originally played it the first time, I only got like to the end of the first part of the game and put it down because during that time I was in a real multiplayer hook. So I kind of got bored with games that had multiplayer, but I couldn't do multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
But when I went back to it, I'm like, oh wait, this game's actually pretty good. Why'd I put this down for so long?
Yeah, this.
Hi, everyone.
But it's
In
one of
terms of that, this is the first Tales game that I actually played all the way through. I had played Tales of Fantasia before on an emulator, but this is the first one I actually played from beginning to end.
Don't congratulate me yet. A whole new world lies before us now. We have to inform everyone about the revival of the Igaguri style.
Yes.
yeah. You hear that, audience at home?
As well.
Are you done with your thoughts yet?
No, you keep talking over me when I'm trying to talk. But
Look what happened.
King Jesus, hey, how you doing? But no, this game is one of those things that taught me how to like
Would you have me do
outside of the game itself. This game actually taught me how to act how I am today. Honestly, it's like don't treat people like shit, otherwise they'll treat you like shit. This is what jammed the golden rule into my head in life, and I have a lot of appreciation for it because of that.
Until you do something about the
And,
Church of Martel.
When I explained that to one of the voice actors of this game that I met at a con one time, they're actually taken aback, like, "Oh shit!"
Is it more that they
Time is finally starting to flow
that in a
again.
combination of remembering? Oh shit! People actually remember that game still.
You know what?
Oh no, they knew.
28 years old now. Can you
Fair
believe
enough.
that?
No, they knew.
Were you talking with Alicia?
Yes.
Gameplay-wise, yes, this game has aged quite a bit.
Now that that's done,
Not in the good way.
rest assured that no new X spheres will be excavated.
That's good to hear.
Like there's no free roaming. There's no free roaming. There's no
In order to build a new
there's no like reliance on big spells.
I'm sure Alicia and Daddy would have wanted
It's really difficult to actually avoid the big heavy hitting damage spells that you get like late in the game. Like to the point where Guardian just feels completely useless.
Oh yeah.
So in that sense, if you're looking, I still think to this day I still think Symphonia has a better story out of the entire franchise. But when gameplay wise, I do think it suffers greatly, like most games do. For gameplay, if you want to get a game that has good gameplay-wise, I would recommend either Xillia or Vesperia, because those are the ones that get brought up a lot. But in this specific, nowadays, I would actually recommend you getting the PS3 version if you can, because honestly, nowadays that's like the only reliable way you can actually play this game.
Which is unfortunate because the GameCube version is still the most stable version of this game.
It's
stable,
but
it's been out for like almost 20 years.
Stable, but also really hard to find anymore.
Yeah, well, that's the same for every GameCube game, unfortunately.
Like
wanted to go with him, didn't you?
yeah, but in this case, this game had me idolize like certain character tropes that I see nowadays that I can point out to people. But not in a bad way, but in a good way.
No, but I see what you mean. Is like every character in this game is literally a walking trope of a character trait.
Yeah. But also, I want to mention, the person with your highest relation is actually the one who's with you during this cutscene.
Who you only see for half a second anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. But, yeah. But anyway, the voice actor I met at that time was actually Rain's voice actor, Carrie Walgreen.
Huh. Oh, yeah, you told me about that.
Yes. And she actually signed my poster, too. See, it's got her that. To me, thanks for playing, Carrie Walgren, Rain, heart sign.
Too bad Jennifer Hale wasn't there, too.
She's long retired. I don't think she's ever going to go to a con ever again.
That's true.
But yeah, in this case, good game. Gameplay has aged horribly. Story-wise, it grows on you. But if this is the first Tales game you're ever playing, I would suggest playing a future entry, because this is not a very good representation of what modern Tales games are like. Because it shows its age very quickly, because block puzzles are pretty much the only kind of puzzle in this game, whereas future games have more variety in those.
Yeah, this game is definitely the last of the classic variation of Tales. Although you could also play Tales of Legendia, which I advise against.
No, nobody wants to play Tales of Legendia. That's 2.5D. They came out around the same age as Abyss and such. And like nobody wants to play.
That came out like the same, like a month before Abyss.
Yeah. And
Abyss is what evolved the franchise into what it is now.
Yeah, nobody wants to play that. Nobody wants to play a 2.5D game during that era. But yeah.
Namco, if you're going to remake more Tales games, remake this game, please. I mean, I know you already did it once before, but an actual remake on modern consoles, please.
I'm crossing my fingers that they have something in store for the 25th anniversary. Because Tales of Arise is a very shitty way of celebrating 25 years. So I'll just say that right now.
I wouldn't be able to know because I haven't played Arise. It's not even out yet.
Yeah, it's not even out during this recording. I'm just saying, Tales of Arise is a really crappy way of showing it because we know jack shit about it. It's supposed to release this year. When this year? Fuck if I know.
It never had an official release date.
And it's supposed to come out this year. When this year? I don't know. But yeah.
Anyway, thank you all so much for sitting through this. I know it took a long time for us to get this done. If anyone does co-commentary, they would know. Trying to do an RPG with co-commentary makes the game take much longer than people intend it to go. But I'm glad that Muiji and I were able to get through this. This is still one of my most favorite RPGs of all time, and I never get tired of playing it. So thank you, Muiji, for sticking through the whole thing with me. I know it hasn't been easy.
Not even close.
Especially considering you had just gone through your own playthrough of this a few years before, and you were already having difficulties doing that version yourself. So, and that's the most I'm going to say about that.
8 years. 8 years.
It didn't take you that long, specifically.
It kind of did, actually. 8 years.
Yeah. Anyway, I will promise all of our viewers that the next time we do a co-commentary together, it's probably not going to be a Tales game, unless it's Tales of Vesperia, because we were planning on doing that at some point. But we'll have Advanced Logic with us when we do that. He's the one recording that game. He needs to get off his ass and actually finish it this time.
I bet you in your ass is grass. Hey, I wanted to give my quick final thoughts because I didn't think I got them out clearly enough. When I say Symphonia hasn't aged very well, I mean in mostly the gameplay department. It's like a case of where it hasn't fully transitioned into the 3D realm yet. Like, it's not a very good representation of what modern Tales games are like. Like, if you were to say, would you recommend me this game? I would say, no, I would not recommend this game to a modern player. I would say, go for Vesperia, go for Abyss, go for Xillia, something like that. Heck, I'd even say Tales of Graces has better gameplay than Symphonia right now. Because Symphonia is back in an age where 3D was still new. Because most of their games have been 2D outings, and they hadn't made the full transition into 3D just yet. That's why a lot of the puzzles in the game feel more like block puzzles. They haven't fully integrated 3D into those ideas yet. Now, when it comes to the story, I do think Symphonia has the best story all around. Like, even better than most modern Tales games. Like, the only thing I would say comes close to it would be Xillia, but that's just me. That's just me being like, part two is just protecting the world. Part 2 is making new timelines. What the fuck? But on a more serious note, I do think the plot of the overall game hits notes that are more relevant today than they have been for a long time, because most of its subplot revolves around racism and how it affects everyday life. And I feel like even today, that's a big thing. That's a big trouble point to talk about. And I think this plot hits the mark, does explain that, at least tries to, in a more professional manner. Like, I told this to Carrie Walgreen, the voice of Rain Sage. Like, this game single-handedly changed how I am today. It made me who I am right now as I'm talking. Like, again, I know you've heard this before. Like, people say that Symphonia is the Final Fantasy VII of the Tales series, but in all honesty, I do think that holds some merit. Like, there are people still asking for a remake of this game, much like how they've been asking for a remake of 7, and 7 is now getting a remake as we speak right now. Part 1 of that remake is coming out, like, in April. I forget when. Yeah. It has merit for that kind of title. At least to me it does. This is one of the RPGs I grew up with back in the day when I was down on my luck a lot. And I do think it has a special place. It does have a special place where I feel like it holds it's one of those games where it's hard to describe what actually changes you. At least for me, anyway. Basically, what I'm trying to say is it's one of those RPGs that you play and you're like, wow, they actually did that. Like, yes, there's some nonsense in between, but it gets the big... Like, the main point it's trying to push is that racism is bad and it should not be a thing. Whereas the sequel kind of downplays that for some reason, but I'll get into that another time. Like, its whole point is that racism is bad and it can turn the person who who is getting the racist abuse is now spouting that same racist abuse towards people, and they're like, no, that's a double-edged sword. That's a double-edged sword. You can't be doing that. But yeah, it's one of those games where you have to play it at that age in order to understand it better. Or if you're like me, or if you're like the new age Tales fans and you don't want to play the games, there's plenty of Let's Plays that'll focus on that. That'll focus on the story. If you appreciate the story more, you can. If you were to say, would you recommend this game to me? I would say, no. This is a very bad representation of what modern Tales games are like, at least in gameplay wise. Because I would say, like, even Tales of Graces, I would say, has better gameplay than this game. Like, I would say, go play Tales of Vesperia, go play Tales of the Abyss, go play Tales of Graces, Berseria, Zillia 2, any kind of modern Tales game, I would say, plays better than Symphonia right now. Maybe not Zestiria, but again, that's a personal thing. Honestly, it's more of a personal thing than me. But again, I said this to Carrie Walgreen, the voice actor for Rain, that this game actually helped shape the way I am today. If it were not for this game, I probably would have a much different mindset than I do right now. That's all for my final thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this collab run, and you can stay tuned for Sire's channel for whatever he's going to do, or you can go to my channel. Blah, blah, blah. No, I don't do that. You can stay tuned in Sire's channel to look for all his stuff. You can come to my channel and look at all the stuff I have on there. You can even go to Advanced Logic's channel, and he has all kinds of cool stuff. So yeah, see ya whenever we do another collab, whenever that is. I'm just glad it's over!